Hi, welcome back to the Positive Prepper. I'm doing this video inside today because it is very cold and windy and wet and yucky outside. So I'm going to do this from the comfort of my home. And again, as usual, I have kitties that are in high demand of mama's attention. So I want to talk in this video about how we can use a power outage to strengthen your prepping skills. I think many people are going to panic if we have a rolling blackout, which, whether or not it's actually going to happen, I don't know. I think it's a very real possibility, but you don't know. But a lot of people are going to panic simply because they're not prepared for it. They don't know what to do. But as preppers, you should already be prepared as far as having your, your generator and your backup heat source, that type of thing. But this video is going to go a little bit farther than that, and you can actually use a blackout to strengthen your prepping skills, and that will help your family during an SHTF. And I apologize for my voice. I don't know what's going on. I just got this throat thing going on, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So number one, keep cards, dice, board games on hand. So while playing games not only, passes the time, right? What else are you going to do when there's no power? But it also builds teamwork, cooperation, and communication. And especially when you can get the whole family involved in those games, it helps the whole family or the whole unit, whatever that is for you, build up these strengths, and that can be super vital, especially your communication and your cooperation. If you end up in an SHTF situation. So, dice, we always keep Farkle on the table, just because at night when we're bored, we can just pick up the dice and start playing. So think about having those things on hand. Number two, practice going through your home with no lights on, and preferably, obviously, before a power outage. If someone comes to your home to harm your family, that darkness you can actually use to your advantage. If you know where everything in your house is, even in the absolute total darkness, this can give you an upper hand. If you know where everything in your home is in the dark, it gives you the upper hand to a stranger breaking in, right? Because they're not going to know where all your furniture is, where the toy box is, where the end tables are, that type of thing. So you want to make sure that you can get through your home. You want to make sure that you can get to your kids and that your kids can get to you or to a safe place, depending on what your plan of action is. Practice doing that in complete darkness, because if there's a blackout and you're not prepared for it, and especially if you have younger kids, they might be all panicky. They might not know where to go or what to do or how to get there if they can't see, right? So practice that. Try to do this before we end up with any kind of a blackout situation. Number three, practice getting to your staged weapons. Remember that your points of entry, so all of the doors that come into your home, should have a staged form of automatic hole puncher, boomstick, whatever you want to call it, that you can easily access. So you need to know that if it's completely dark, that you can actually get to those staged weapons, but that you also know how to fire them. You have the ability to load, all of that stuff, and you can do that in the dark. Because you may not have time, or you may not want to have a flashlight to let whoever's trying to break in know your location. So you need to make sure that you have the ability to get to your staged weapons and be able to fire them in total darkness. The last thing on this list is using the dark to listen. Now, I know that this sounds a little bit odd, but hear me out. Practice now in total darkness what that silence sounds like. So know what the signs around your house are like. Know what the signs in the environment around your home sound like, outside, your neighbors, etc. If you recognize familiar sounds, you will be more easily able to recognize unfamiliar sounds and know when something just doesn't seem right. I want to liken this part to your car. So I drive an old Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's got over 200,000 miles on it. Hopefully it gets me through another year. But I know that vehicle, as I'm sure you do yours, when you've driven it a long time, right? You know every vibration that's different. You know if there's a different pitch to a squeal, or maybe your speaker makes a different sound. My Jeep is really cool because if I put my front driver's side window down, it changes the bass and treble on my radio because all of the wiring is messed up. But the point is, you know what your vehicle sounds like and what it feels like, and you can tell when there's something that just seems off with your vehicle, right? You want to be able to do that with your home. So the sounds that your animals make, we have a guinea pig, so I know what it sounds like when she's wrestling in her sawdust bedding, right? I know what she sounds like when she's chewing her lettuce. I know what my dogs and cats sound like when they're scratching, or whatever it is. You need to pay attention to those sounds. It may be harder for you to do that if you live in the city, or if you live in a more of a bustling neighborhood. But if you're out in the country especially, or if you live in a quiet neighborhood, it's going to be much easier for you to recognize those normal sounds. But pay attention to that in total darkness. Because you're going to be like, okay, I've never heard that sound before. Is this something that I need to be concerned about? You use your spidey senses to go in that direction. So I know that this is a really short video, and that's okay. I want you to know that if you practice these things now, turning off all the lights in your home and just putting some of this stuff into active status, applying it, it's going to really make a difference if we do get the rolling blackouts, or if our power grid goes down, or we're in some kind of other SHTF. These will help strengthen your prepping skills. So I hope this video helps. If you have any other ideas about how you can use the darkness to your advantage, I'd love to hear it. Leave them in the comments below, or if you don't want to be public, you can email me at positiveprepper@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. God bless.